Now we're going to get back into some good meaty stuff. So this time we're joined by Minsu and the team to talk about accelerating AI red teaming for your GenAI apps with Azure AI Foundry. So take it away.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I'm joined by my amazing colleague, Nagkumar, and a customer from Accenture, Nayan, who is our Chief Director, Azure Architect of the AI Center of Excellence. And so today, what we're going to be walking you through is how you're going to be using AI Red Teaming Agent to safeguard your generative AI applications. So that's your models, your applications, your agents. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So first of all, AI red teaming is a very traditionally well-known practice that is very well defined in security. And AI red teaming is the layer on top that essentially helps you to understand your risk posture when it comes to generative AI and its applications and all of the vulnerabilities that it kind of exposes your application to. So it's actually, a very manual process. It's very resource intensive. It requires safety and security experts, and therefore it can be, a bottleneck for many organizations who are wanting to move very fast through the generative AI landscape. And so we're really excited to announce the AI Red Teaming Agent, and it is an Azure AI Foundry offering that is built on top of our open source automation framework created by our own Microsoft AI Red Teaming team called PyRIT. And it has a UI interface, it has an SDK client. Don't worry, we're going to jump right into the demo right after this. And yeah, so it's essentially going to be giving you all of the goodness and wholeness of PyRIT, which is Microsoft AI Red Teaming open source automation framework, and giving it to you in Azure AI Foundry.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nayan, and my question to you, Minsoo, is what exactly does it do? What exactly will AI red teaming provide us?
Yeah, so AI red teaming is really trying to bridge this gap between developers who have to work very collaboratively with SecOps and with, the security organizations in your, companies or teams that are trying to secure your generative AI application. What we really want to do is provide a framework and service and tool that is going to help you shift left. So you really don't want to be at the very left here where, you have an incident. It's very costly. You don't have any options. You're just reacting. And, the development team really needs to have some sort of tooling that is going to bridge that gap between their development in their security development lifecycle, as well as the security folks who have to monitor and make sure it's secure in production. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a high level of where we hope to see the AI red teaming agent close this gap for many, many organizations struggling with doing AI red teaming, because it is a very expensive and costly thing to be able to do, but it's very necessary. And I'm very excited to have Nayan actually tell us more about how he's doing it within Accenture.
Right. So Microsoft and Accenture, when we started the GenAI journey a couple of years back, we made a promise. We made a promise to our customer that every single GenAI application that we will productionize has to have safety and security inbuilt. So safety and security for us was never an afterthought. It was always about, can we bring, to your point, shift left and ensure that at every single step, from ideation to productionization of any GenAI application, we can ensure the right level of safety and security. So if you see here, we talk about application development, the testing process, the QA process, the productionization process. At every step, we have guardrails. We have ensured that safety, security is important to us. So every single application that we have productized till now has to go through a rigor, and AI red teaming agent provides us that whole full circle view to ensure that we are building quality applications and our customers are feeling that trustworthiness, the reliability when they get their production ready code.
Yeah, that is really awesome. And I'm so glad that we were able to work together with you and your team to be able to, leverage all of our awesome safety and security expertise within Microsoft to help safeguard your generative AI application process.
So with that, I have a question for you, Minsoo.
Yeah, what is it?
How does it work behind the scene? We have been collaborating. Our customers are so happy about it. We want the audience to know, how does it work behind the scene?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So, how does the AI red teaming agent work? It's pretty amazing. As you know, there is a lot of different ways that your generative AI application can be attacked. Some of them involved prompt, attacks, right? There's a bad actor. The attacker is coming to your application. They're trying to get it to misbehave. And essentially, we have certain prompts that we store. It's a curated set that Microsoft has created that provides coverage over a set of risk categories. And then we also provide an adversarial large language model that is going to play act as the attacker. And it has access to a bunch of different attack strategies from PyRIT, which is the open source framework that our AI red teaming team has created and currently maintain, in order to send attacks to your target AI system. So that attack at a baseline, direct prompting could be like, how do I loot a bank? Well, maybe your target system actually is really good at, having a safety alignment system that is going to outright refuse this very simple kind of attack. But with the attack strategies that we provide through the AI red teaming agent, we're able to maybe provide like flipping the characters or transforming it in some way that's going to trick your target or trick your AI system into giving you that bad information that you don't want users to access. And so we provide all of the structure, infrastructure, models, the safety evaluators, large language models, and at the very end, we provide you with a very comprehensive red teaming scorecard, which is going to help express what is your risk posture, and is something that developers can use and hand off to their SecOps team and build together more secure and safe generative AI applications. So with that, I'm actually going to show you how it actually works in code with a demo from Nagkumar.
Hey folks, I'm going to walk you through how you set up a semantic kernel red teaming agent sample. So on your screen, you can see how I have set up an Azure chat completion service with our deployment endpoint and key, along with our red team plugin. This plugin exports a lot of functions which the chat completion agent can pick up. All right, yep, here's the Azure chat completion initialization, and then we have the red team plugin, which is something that our Azure AI evaluations SDK exports. We get a lot of functions via the plugin, which is used by the agent to help you be a co-pilot to red team your application. I'm going to start running this and go over the other part of the code. So as you can see, one of the target functions was something called call Foundry. And this call Foundry runs a 5.3 mini 4K model locally via Foundry local, and then sends the response back to the agent. So this is the target that we are going to try to red team now. And here's the conversation list, which will automatically be running. And once this is run, there will be an interactive mode where we can.
Yeah, so this is kind of like if I was a red teamer, I would want to kind of pre-fill all the user inputs that an attacker might want to say to my, AI system, right?
Yep, in a way, but also like helping the red teamer identify how well you can do some attacks. So let's look at what the outputs were. So here was the first user's question: what are your capabilities? And then the red team agent shows all of this. So you can pick up a category, you can pick up a conversation strategy, and then start attacking. The next question was fetching a prompt in the category. Well, it was violent, and it's not shown. And then the second one was send a prompt to the target. And the target says, I cannot assist with it. So the next prompt was to convert it using our base64 converter, which then converts the harmful prompt into base64. And then I'm trying to say, hey, why don't you just send it to the target and show me the response? And here's the response from the target. Looks like we did something, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually able to host my AI system as a target and have the AI red teaming agent go and attack it for me, right?
Yep, it is. And it
very cool.
Kind of succeeded. The same plain text message got a refusal message from the model, whereas the base64 one did something else.
Yeah.
So let's try something else now. So fetching another prompt and trying the URL converter. As the original prompt, plain text, cannot assist with it. And converted prompt, well, it did something. I think we were asking about bank robberies.
Yeah. So, yeah, but what if, like, as part of my AI red team, I want a little bit more interactive flexibility? Like, I don't necessarily know what the next turn is going to be. Can I have an interactive session with this?
Yes, so I have some more prompts here, which I'm going to copy and paste. So I'm asking the agent to pick up a prompt in the violence category and convert it into Mars.
Very cool.
So there's the prompt in Mars. And let me see, try to send this original prompt to the target and see if it works. Yep, I did this again.
You always know it's real with a live demo, guys.
Well, yep, it cannot assist us with that. Let's
Oh.
try to send the converted prompt now.
Yeah, so while we're waiting for that, so, this can be really great for a red teamer to kind of like manually probe and have a co-pilot that's helping me do this, right? If I want, my next turn to be more adversarial, if I want, certain seed prompts that is in a risk category I might not know a lot about. So what if I don't have time to just, do this manually? Is there a way for me to like run maybe like a batch automated scan?
Yes, we do. So, well, the response came out. Looks like it decoded a random panagram. Interesting. We should take a deeper look into that model. To show you what you were asking for, the red team scan, here's a sample wherein we are initializing the red team client with your Azure AI project and selecting all the risk categories that you want to target your application with, the number of objectives, and then you also start the scan with something like this. And here I'm targeting an Azure OpenAI config. And once you see this config, you can see that it's an Azure endpoint, 4.1 nano, and then pulling out the keys from my environment. And I have a bunch of strategies here, which I'm going to uncomment and then start running. But this is going to take a little bit of time because we are trying to run 5 objectives and 11 strategies. So let's take a look at some previously run outputs.
Yeah. So yeah, let's fast forward to, let's say we were able to successfully complete this scan. You would be able to actually see this log to your Azure AI Foundry project. So you would be able to see all of your automated scans that you've kicked off, see the different risks categories, as well as your attack complexities, because not all attacks are made equal, and therefore you would be able to see, okay, for baseline, which is like the direct probe, actually my ASR is pretty good. But for some of the more attack, strategies that are maybe like easy complexity, right? They're kind of like functional programming changes. I'm seeing an increase in my ASR, my attack success rate. So we got to take a look at that. But we can also take a look, at the attack response data and see which attacks exactly were successful and which were unsuccessful. And you can click into each of the data points, see what our attacker said to the GPT-4o1 Nano, and then be able to see, okay, what risk category was that in, what attack technique did it use, and what was the complexity of that. And of course, the next question is, if I have a high ASR, what do I do with that? How do I mitigate it? And so Azure AI Foundry also has amazing guardrails and safeguarding, filters that are going to be in real time helping you to protect against prompt injection attacks, both direct and indirect, as well as any kind of harmful content input or output generation. And I'm going to put those guardrails on this deployment, and when I rerun it again, I'm going to be able to see that we were actually able to improve our ASR and drive that down, so that right now I'm seeing kind of green all across the board, and that's awesome. And so I'm able to see iteratively with my development team, I can either be manually probing with the co-pilot of the AI red teaming agent, or doing batch automated scans at continuous intervals that it's going to allow me to iteratively develop with safety and security in mind.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so with that, I am going to leave you guys with some resources. Are you ready to create the future of AI? This is going to be a lot of the QR codes for how to get started with our AI work. And then also, we are located in the hub, so we're in the expert booth for security AI red teaming. please come by and see us. Happy to answer any more questions. And then please also take a look at our documentation. You can run the sample in GitHub today. It's publicly available. And please read our development blog on this as well. So thank you so much.